Hey everybody, this is Jean Gronert from Seven Oaks Consulting. I want to welcome you back here to our YouTube channel, our weekly marketing motivation. I share with you updates on SEO, content marketing, and other types of marketing for small and mid-sized businesses. I am a marketing consultant with over 20 years of experience and a real passion for content marketing and SEO. Today, we are going to take a look at a case study. Now, this case study will show you and demonstrate to you how, even in this age of AI-based search, you too can get a blog to perform well. The approach I used on this is evergreen SEO, and we're going to see how the approach to SEO and the subtle shifts that we made in the blog's focus and other things really brought it back up to a good standard, helped it increase revenues and accomplish its goals. It's a really cool case study. So without further ado, you know I love my PowerPoints. I've got a PowerPoint for you. So we're going to take a look at that together. And let's take a look. All right, guys. So this is obviously we're on the Marketing Motivation channel. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the little bell on YouTube. Every subscriber counts and every little bit helps. That's my company, Seven Oaks Consulting. We do content marketing, SEO, and RFP writing if you have an interest in those areas. Okay, our case study today, it's called AI SEO Best Practices, a case study, and it's on a home and garden blog. Now, today we're going to compare snapshots of data for this blog from 2024 to 2026. I'll explain what we did, why we did it, and what the results show. Now, what you're going to see is the impact of steady evergreen SEO updates on an older website or blog. Even in this age of AI SEO and AI snippets, doing these things can really help your website perform better. And we're going to see the numbers today because it really does show that. So let's take a look. So the big question, well, as we watch the rollout of AI in late 2023 into 2024, we here at Seven Oaks Consulting believe that topical authority would become more important for search. I was looking at how AI was impacting search, and I noticed that it was picking away all of those easy questions, the top of funnel stuff that we've discussed here on this channel before. But what I did see was that any website or blog that had stronger topical authority, especially on a very niche topic, appeared to be doing pretty well in the age of AI search. So what we wanted to do is examine the metrics around Home Garden Joy, which is my own blog. I own this blog. It's what I call my SEO sandbox, meaning anytime a new study comes out, a new technique, something to emphasize, a Google core update, I look at that blog and then I apply it. So I test everything that I recommend to my clients on my own blog before I recommend it. And we're going to see the results of my own recommendations on my own blog, I guess you'd say, but we're going to see the results of my approach on this blog. Basically, when I looked at the metrics in 2024, I was really upset. I felt like the blog had so much potential, and I really wanted search engines to recognize it as an authoritative site. So the whole goal of the work that you're going to see here was to get Google to recognize the site as more of an authority on the subject of gardening, rank it better, and we wanted to increase the revenues from the blog. Now, I monetize it through affiliate marketing and through a few other, and an ad network, and then little bits of book sales. I sell books that I myself wrote. And it has been monetized since around 2022 or so, give or take. And it originally, it was just breaking even. So at the start of this project, the revenues were about even. At the end of it, we're going to see that the improvements we made helped us turn a profit on it, which is also pretty cool. So let's take a look. Again, this is the blog. It's my own, it was my personal diary. I started it in October of 2007, and it was on Blogspot from 2007 to 2014. I then moved it to a hosted WordPress site in 2014. Really made a big effort in 2021 into 2022, both to improve it and monetize it. We bought a new theme. I was in a blogging mastermind group, really worked hard on it because my goal was to make it break even and then turn a modest profit. I didn't expect to make my living off of it, but I did want it to take care of itself financially and then also to turn a profit for my company. So what happened? Well, I took a look. 2023 and 2022 were crazy busy years for me. Didn't do much with the blog. And at the start of 2024, when I got the metrics for the site, I was really disappointed. So I said to myself, look, let's treat this as if this is a client site and let's take a look at it and find out what's wrong. So I did my own future-proof SEO audit. I wasn't calling it that then, but I did a comprehensive audit in 2024. And oh my goodness, it was an eye-opener. It was, there's an old saying my dad used to use. He'd say, the shoemaker's children go barefoot. And what it means is that, the shoemaker makes shoes, but he has no time for his own kids. And this was my own kid. I do SEO and content marketing. I almost had no time left to do it. And it showed. We have over 1,000 pages and posts on the blog, but 400 orphaned pages and posts, no internal links to them. Oh dear, that is not good. I had broken links everywhere, missing images, poor quality posts. My categories over, 15 to 20 years about really had sprawled. I was covering everything from local events to personal essays and you name it. I had big images. I'd take them raw I have a really nice digital camera that I like to use to take images of the garden, like this picture here, which I took, but I wasn't resizing them. I was just slapping them up on the blog originally. So I had some images that were just using up memory and it made the site really slow. So we had a mess of problems here. If I had come across a client website like this, I would have been like, ooh, baby, we got work to do. And that's kind of what I said to myself. So what did I do? Well, again, my dad was a big inspiration in my life, and I told you about the shoemaker's saying. He had a book of Aesop's fables. Now, Aesop was a Greek man, a philosopher, and there's a book called Aesop's Fables, and it has stories that he would tell to impress his students up with points. One of my favorites is the story of the tortoise and the hare who were in a race. And the hare, of course, is a rabbit, and it's much faster than a turtle, which is a tortoise, but it gets distracted easily and it does little sprints, but then it never finished the race. And the turtle's mantra over and over again, he says in the story, slow and steady wins the race, slow and steady wins the race. It's what I tell myself when I have a big project. It means apply a steady, consistent approach to the project. And that was the approach I took on this blog. First thing I did was I restructured all of the categories for it. I got rid of a ton of extraneous categories and really niched down into growing organic fruit, vegetables, and herbs, basically anything you can eat, then how to preserve what you eat, whether it's drying it, canning it, whatever, and then how to cook with what you eat, with what you grow. And then I did some baking recipes and stuff because in the off season, which is any time from like Halloween through the new year, there's very little gardening stuff to talk about outside. I do have some houseplant articles, which I've kept, but basically, it's the holidays. So I do like to do baking. And so I included that as well. And it seemed to fit. Now, links. 400 orphaned pages is a lot of pages to think about. So steadily and slowly for close to a year, I just chipped away at it, half hour a week, fixing all those orphaned pages and making sure there were no broken links on the site. I resized images, compressed and replaced the bad ones. And then the content needed an overhaul too. There were a lot of poor and low quality posts from those early days when it was basically a blogging diary. So what I did was about twice a week, I dipped in, I took a post that seemed to have a lot of potential and I improved it, I deepened it, and I reworked it. And then some of the ones that were already, some of the ones that were already doing well, I just went in and tweaked. And then I added one new post per week, focusing on long tail keyword phrases that were really heavily focused on those new niche categories that I had, growing fruit, vegetables, herbs, cooking with them, preserving with them, and then the basics of good organic gardening. So that was the plan. This is the results. Now, each of these panels represents 1 month of data, not a full year, it's 1 month. The 1 month I took was May of 2024, and I used the month of May because as a gardening blog, May is the heaviest gardening month. So most people, that's when they go out and they plant their flowers and their vegetables and they're looking for answers. So May was a good snapshot month. I compared May of 2024 to 2025 and then 2026. And here's what happened. Here's the beginning of AI search. Google then rolled out a big core update in 2025, and two of them already here in 2026. We can see overall clicks decreased at first, then improved slightly. Impressions decreased pretty dramatically, about 50%, but then they improved again in 2026. But look at the pages with first impressions, meaning like good search position. We went from 13, which is meh, 22, still meh, to 66 in 1 year. That's really good. Let me show you how this turned out. Now, if you are looking at just, for example, your impressions or your clicks, you may be really scared of this and go, oh my God, this is terrible. We're down a third, we're down half. Like, what do we got to fix this. But that's not the full story. And that's the point of this case study. The case study is about topical authority and revenues, and that's what counts, guys. At the end of the day, what counts, if you are doing this kind of activity for money, which most people are, your page impressions and your clicks, maybe it counts, yeah, but look at the bottom line. Did your revenues or your leads increase? The answer for this blog is yes. Why? Because we improved the focus in a time when AI is rolling out and can answer all of those generic and general things. So instead of us still chasing after those big numbers, oh, we want millions of page views. No, we don't. We don't want to be something for everybody. We can't. AI is taking that place. Instead, we want to be something for someone who really wants a deep answer for a specific topic. That's why, as I worked on this, I refocused on just those categories, and the result is much stronger topical authority. We're now ranking first for 66 pages. Now, are those pages very high traffic performing keywords? No, but they are high monetary value keywords. So what's happened is, as those particular ones have improved in search, they're getting the click-throughs and my ad revenues went up. The other thing that happened is because topical authority increased, we're getting better qualified traffic to the website. Somebody who's really interested in growing herbs, both to cook with and to use them to support their health, is now coming to my site more than going to the competitor's site. And they're clicking through on my affiliate links to the Herbal Academy, which has a wonderful affiliate program, courses and products for sale, and I make revenue from that, as disclosed on my site. So the end result is the pages that count moved up, our topical authority improved, and our revenues have increased about fourfold actually from 2024. So 2024, we barely broke even. 2025, much improved. 2026, we've already shown a profit, and the year's not over yet. So that's really good. So the bottom line that I want to tell and impress upon you is that AI search doesn't mean the end of blogs. I'm seeing over and over again people saying that blogging is dead. Da, 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 da. Well, general blogging is. If you're busy trying to stuff a bunch of glossary terms in, that's before AI. AI can answer all of that. If you're blogging just to hit high traffic keywords and get traffic to your site, doesn't always work. If you have something unusual, original to say, if what you're doing matters to a specific reader, and if you focus on SEO best practices, emphasizing human-produced original content, you can still achieve your goals, as I just proved with my blog. All right, guys. One thing I wanted to mention too is I've talked a little bit on this channel about AI-created content, and I did test that on this blog. I did some posts using pure AI, like I used AI, I told it what to write, I outlined the post, it hit these points, it did, and I published it. Then I did an AI generated post and I edited it heavily and added my own images. And then lastly, I just wrote like I normally do. And I compared those posts. The AI posts get almost no recognition. They all got indexed, but I get like no traffic from it. The AI posts with heavy editing, or a post that started with my writing and then I wanted to refresh it, so I added a couple of paragraphs using AI, those are doing okay. The best performing content for me is always, you're gonna love this, human written with my own images. And in fact, the whole blog is primarily my own images. I think I licensed a couple of stock pictures throughout. And then like my brother contributed some pictures to an article. My friend Lori gave me a picture that she took to use on the site. And then I've got some, companies that have approached me to write about their stuff, and their PR agents gave me access to their media library. So all of that's great. But where I'm coming from here is that I think the more topical authority you have, the more your own voice and your own expertise should show through. And I think, in particular, for an image heavy website like a gardening blog, the choice not to use AI is a good one. I don't have any issue with using AI images on a business blog. In fact, I do use them on Seven Oaks Consulting just to give a little, picture at the top of the page. They really aren't anything more than kind of a illustration, like I don't know, just like a little illustration for the articles. But I think if you've got either a home improvement blog, pets, maybe anything that's very personal to people, I think you should use real images. And don't be afraid about the quality of your pictures. I go out in the garden and I snap away, and I'll maybe take 30 pictures and use two. Nobody has to see your outtakes, but I think people want to see authenticity. Think in this age of AI everything, having an authentic voice and being a trusted authority will count more than ever. And I think we're seeing that on the block. So to sum up, guys, in this age of AI search, your blog can still thrive. You need to just change your expectations, I think, about it. If you're expecting millions of impressions, as I used to get before the rollout of AI search, I'm not going to get them, at least not right now. Maybe if I increase my content output, I could. But it's not the impressions or even the clicks that mattered on my site. It was the actual topics that I was choosing. The more I niched down and the more I focused on those topics and excluded anything really that didn't fit, the better my blog did. My page, no, my pages on the first page of Google increased astronomically. I mean, 13 2 years ago to 66 today. That's really good. And also the revenues tell the story. I am, doing better than before. Again, I'm not making my living from this, nor am I trying to. This blog is really my passion project, my creative project, and my sandbox to test things like this. But I loved sharing it with you because it proves, to me at least, and I hope to you, that my approach to SEO worked. It worked for this site. It's an evergreen, time-tested, best practices approach. If you're interested in having me work on your blog, I am available. You can find out more at 7 oaksconsulting.com. My name is Jean Grunert. I am a marketing expert with actually, it's about 30 years of experience as a marketing manager, 20 years as a consultant. I provide general marketing management for companies, content marketing services, and SEO and RFP writing. All of that I blend together because I really am passionate about saying the right words matter, whether it's written or spoken, how you display them on your blog, words matter. They matter more than ever in this age of SEO and AI. And in this age of AI, authenticity matters. Thank you so much for watching. Come back again soon. Bye-bye.